this is Tom Stone. Welcome to this call. We're having a follow-up session with Lori Haughland. She had a demo session a while back on the topic of Success 101, how to make fewer costly mistakes. And so we're going to follow up with her and see how she's doing, whether we got some results, whether we need a little tune-up or where we're at. So Lori, hi, welcome.
Hi, Tom. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Would love to get some kind of sense from you of how we did with our first session, whether you've noticed some changes, how things are going.
Well, I would say that I felt like I really had a shift, that I was more able and more, I guess, willing and even maybe a little excited to share my thoughts and feelings more freely.
Yeah, I think the topic was you're feeling a bit of a sort of discomfort with public speaking, particularly like to groups and things like that. Do you feel like that's significantly changed since we did the session?
Well, it shows up not just in front of groups, but it also shows up in small groups or, sometimes even just one-on-one. It's just yeah. But I'm saying that it's changed. Yes, I've definitely noticed that I've started to make conversations with people that I don't even know. I'm just more gregarious and spontaneous. I'm more
great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So look, sounds like we had a really good result. That's terrific.
Yeah. I remember I was in my little small group that normally I would wait until the very end, then I'd have to talk because everybody else was finished. And this time I was like, I didn't go first, but I went about third. I said, I'll talk.
Oh, great.
So,
wonderful. That's a nice indicator. Wow, that's great. Well, I'm very glad to hear that. Do you feel you need any kind of a tune-up or anything? You feel okay with what we've done?
Well, I think it has brought up a maybe even deeper issue around what I'd call shame. And that could be something that I would want to deal with.
Okay. So now that you're in the freedom practice, is that something you feel you can handle on your own, or would you like a little support on that right now?
Well, yeah, interesting you should ask, because what I found myself doing was just getting really flooded by the energy of the emotion, of the feeling of, some of that. And it would just be big feelings of shame. And I'd kind of lose my ability to decipher whether it was an in technique or an out technique. It was just too overwhelming.
Too absorbed. Yeah. I understand. Sometimes when the energies are really significant like that, it's useful, valuable to have a little help. Why don't we just deal with it? Because I don't think it'll take long.
Oh, okay.
I can. Yeah. Sometimes when it happens like this, something you can do, if you have enough presence of mind to do it, is to test to see if there's some energy creating that kind of overwhelmed, can't figure it out sort of thing, as a sort of separate energy from the energy that seems to be what's, entrapping you or overwhelming you. Oftentimes there'll be some kind of triggering or blocking or some kind of energy. This is kind of in that area we talked about. I don't know if you were in the conversation about this, what we call second category gatekeepers. These are just energies. We don't have to know exactly their function. Like the first category gatekeepers, of course, are having a fear that if you change something, you're going to lose part of the sense of yourself. So you hang on to it, even though you want to get rid of it. There's a part of you that doesn't want to get rid of it because it's so familiar and feels so at home in a strange sort of way. Even sometimes when it's a a deep pain, that can be the case. So this second category of gatekeepers, we don't have to figure that out, like why it's there. All we need to do is to identify with the muscle testing that in fact that's what's there. We resolve that, and then the process of resolving the initial overwhelming or unhandleable energy becomes much, much easier. So I'm going to just test and see that's something like that is going on in this case for Lori. Yeah, you've got some kind of like a second category gatekeeper that's kind of keeping you from being able to handle this. So let's go after that. And I think when we resolve that, then being able to resolve the other energy should be okay. Sound all right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So there's there's just one energy. This is an in technique energy. Yeah, there's one in technique energy. So the way we get at it is you go into the quietness and you use locate, which you know how to do. For sake of people watching this as a video, I'll just explain that. What Lori's doing, closing her eyes, she's looking off to the side of her thoughts, noticing the background of silence in which the thoughts are occurring. And when she has enough of a sense of that quietness and emptiness of the background, which is her own awareness, then she's just going to tell her body to show her where this energy is that's causing the difficulty in resolving this shame feeling that she was talking about. And so she knows how to do that, and she's in the process of doing that now. So once she tells the body that, pretty much immediately the body will show her some tight knot or ball of energy somewhere inside, or sometimes it can even feel like a kind of black hole, like it's just a kind of emptiness. There can be all kinds of different sensations that this can have. But when she identifies that energy and uses the in technique, just to go into the energy, the central, strongest part of it, just noticing it, gradually subside. And when the energy of that's all gone, then this sort of blockage phenomena should be completely gone, and then it'll become much easier to deal with this old, deep shame energy that she was talking about. So I'll just be quiet and let her do that.
It seems like it's just kind of stuck. It's not moving. It's in my solar.
So don't have an agenda about how long it takes or that it should be behaving in a particular way based on previous experiences. Sometimes these energies are a bit tenacious. They kind of just take a while. So just kind of have a neutral attitude about that and just allow yourself to feel it, and gradually it will eventually soften and become less. We'll see.
Seems like it's lessened.
Very good. Just as anticipated. That's great. Go ahead and stay with it until it's gone.
So what has come up here is this is taking too long. I'm taking too much of his time.
It's just a side effect of the shame issue. Don't worry about it.
I know it.
No problem.
Oh my God.
I don't have anything scheduled after this, so I'm completely fine. We're okay. Go ahead. If it's starting to soften, that only took a few minutes actually, so don't worry about it. It'll soften fairly rapidly. All things being relative, and when it's gone, then you can deal with the shame energy much more easily. So just hang in there and go for it. No problem.
I think it's gone.
Terrific. Very good. So this energy that was blocking the ability to deal with this shame energy is now completely resolved. Yes. Still some of it left somewhere we have to deal with. No. Very good. Okay, you got it. That's great.
Oh, good.
So now we should be able to address this shame issue
Wow.
Is it easy to get access to that energy, or do you need to use locate again to get it?
Probably. What did you ask me? Did I use
Uh,
it or am I
is
going
it,
to use it?
is it is it easy to get access to the shame feeling?
Um,
You can use locate to get at it again if you need to.
okay, yeah. It's interesting that I can't, but I'll do locate, okay?
And sometimes it happens, and you're probably familiar with this. That sometimes you'll do the gatekeeper, and the original energy will kind of wash out with the bathwater. Sometimes it
Oh, that'd
happens
be
like that.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if you
Let's
can
hope.
find anything. Go ahead and go into the quietness and tell the body to show you if there's any of that energy left to show to you.
Well, I don't seem to be finding anything in my body, but it seems like I just keep wanting to go into deeper level pure awareness. If that makes any sense. The energy is just going out and out.
Go ahead and do that.
Say that again.
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and go for it. Yeah, let's see what happens. Maybe when you get far enough out there, you'll become aware of something or not. Either way is okay. Let's just see what happens. I've noticed, Laurie, that sometimes when we do these second category gatekeepers with the intention of finding what's blocking the resolution of something, that oftentimes these energies are also causal, like they're at the root cause of what the problem is. And that's why they're blocking it, is because they're actually causing it. So even though the feeling that's unresolved is different than the energy that needs to be felt, there's some causal level to that. And I think that has been the case in this case, and that's testing is yes. And so I think you got it. I think you did. The underlying energy that was at the basis of this shame feeling is now resolved. And especially if you can't, if you're telling the body to show it to you and you're not finding anything, this is like, how good can it get?
Yeah. It's like too good to be true. But we'll just see. We'll just see.
Yeah, well, there's been some refinement in my understanding about intention over the last, I'd say 6 months to a year. And that is that when intention is really precise, like what we've just used, oftentimes the benefit and the result will be more extraordinary than we've been experiencing in the past. So I think we get to kind of expand our view of what's possible. I especially got moved forward in this respect from doing all these sessions on chronic pain that I've been doing. I've done about 8 of them, I think. And in most cases, in one session, it's like gone. Or if it needs a tune-up, like a follow-up session, maybe something minor or less something else has been uncovered, or the person might have this habit of kind of clenching up in relation to something, whatever it happens to be. But typically in 1 or 2 sessions, like this 15-year, 10-year chronic pain problem is just like gone. And many of them appear to be more physically oriented than not. Like this one guy I did who lives in Australia, I did a few weeks ago, and he was telling me, I've got this problem in my back, I've got these, and he described all these physical things that doctors have told him he has, right? And you would think, we got to solve those physical things to get rid of the pain. Well, in one session, the pain was gone. So we don't have to think in the same old limited, seemingly physicality way about these things. And I think the same thing is true on the emotional level. Like some of the things that you have, like you felt like the shame was something you've had all your life, how you can ever get rid of it, that kind of thing. And, and in 10, 15 minutes, we get to the right energy that's at the causal level of it, and the thing's gone. That's incredible. Let's see how it goes now, whether that comes back or whether there's, something related. Let's see how it goes. And just, why don't you just kind of touch base with me? You can do it by email or you can do it in the Freedom Practice group. It's fine, either way. And, if you need more support, let me know. I'm happy to jump in and help you get it solved like we did today. No problem. And if not, then we're good to go. It'd be great.
Okay.
Fantastic. All right.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, I will. If something comes up, I'll contact you.
Okay.
I'm saying that to myself, so I'll do it. You know what I mean?
That's great, Lori.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks.